currently in the USA, 48 different countries are playing football, battling it out for one thing, the shiny World Cup trophy. And with so many different nations competing to try and be the best, it got me thinking, what if we did the same thing but for roller coasters? Because over 100 countries in the world have at least one roller coaster in them. So push that aside, forget football. This is the World Cup for roller coasters, because I've selected the best roller coaster from those 48 different countries and I've placed them into a knockout tournament following the exact same grouping as the real World Cup. And every round, one coaster will rise to victory and the other will plummet to the bin. By the end of this video, we will crown the country with the best roller coaster with the Coaster World Cup trophy. So make sure you watch till the end. And if you do enjoy this video and want to see more, please be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Either way, I think it is time to lay out the premise of this World Cup tournament, because we're not just going to pick a roller coaster and go, oh, you're fighting this wacky worm. We have a format already made for us, so it's going to work the exact same as the World Cup. And if you don't know how the World Cup works, which I didn't even know before this year, countries qualify for the World Cup, and the 48 that do qualify get put into groups. The top 2 of each group goes straight through, but only 8 third places of each group will go through with them. Yeah, it's getting confusing now. The teams that went through then play knockout rounds against each other, then quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the proper final. Proper final? That doesn't sound very official, but it works really well because that format means we might have an unexpected winner in the end, which I'm kind of hoping might be the case. So to begin, we have the first group stage, Group A. Right here we have Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czech Republic, all of which I've already labeled their best roller coasters of. And this isn't the exact order, we're going to change this around. I've actually put in some new coasters as well because some of these countries don't have the most amazing rides. And much like Czech Republic's new GCI coaster, that'll probably be the best in that country. But how does this rank then? So first of all, I've heard very good things about T-Express, the insane looking wooden roller coaster in South Korea. And considering I've heard so much about that and I've heard so little about the other 3, I mean, one of them doesn't even exist. We're going to move that to the top 4 now. Tower of Terror in South Africa, not to be confused with the ones at Disneyland. That was genuinely known as the most intense roller coaster experience ever created when it first opened. But Tower of Terror doesn't really do much, so I'm actually going to put it at the bottom. It is such a unique ride and looks very, very cool, but honestly, it literally is just a lift and a drop. I can't say much more than that. Yeah, I think that's a good list for now, and it means we can move on to the next group. Right here with Group B, where we have Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, and Switzerland. I've chosen Leviathan for Canada because it just looks insane. We've got an Alpine coaster there, Epic coaster with a Q, and Switzerland again is one of those that doesn't have too many amazing coasters, so I've put their new Mack Big Dipper on there to give them a bit of a chance, you know. And first of all, I can already tell you, sorry Bosnia, the Alpine coaster is cool and all, but I don't think it's got anything on the other 3. Leviathan is a pretty solid one. Epic coaster, it's the world's tallest indoor roller coaster, but I think that is a good ranking for this group. Group C, where we have Brazil with their new Vekoma coming to Cacao Park, Morocco with a Gerstlauer Eurofighter called Serpent, and following that, 2 Alpine coasters in Haiti and in Scotland. And once again, I don't think much change is going to happen with this group. I mean, they're both 2 Alpine coasters. The Haiti one looks like it's a little bit nicer, a little bit more nice water off in the distance. But we're going to do the true test. We are going to see which one is taller and faster, and whichever one is, that'll be the winner. Oh dear. Looks like we're keeping Group C as that. Sorry, Scotland. It wasn't my choice. On to Group D now, which has a couple of big hitters, where we've got the USA with Steel Vengeance, Paraguay with, it's so difficult between them two, Australia with DC Rivals Hypercoaster, and Turkey with Hypercoaster. And I don't really want to do this, but you can kind of tell what's coming. It's the end of the road for Steel Vengeance, because Gusatini takes top spot. No, sadly I can't do that, so this will be the ranking. That is a very close bracket between those top 3 though. Group E is very interesting because 2 of the countries don't have recognizable roller coasters as they're not registered. So you've got a number 1, Germany with Voltron I've chosen. Curacao doesn't have any registered coasters and neither does the Ivory Coast. And Ecuador has a ride called Krakatoa. So I guess Ecuador has to go up to second, and the other two can remain underneath because, well, they don't have any registered roller coasters, just little funfair ones. What am I supposed to do with that information? Group F is also full of big hitters, because in Group F we have the Netherlands and Untamed, Japan with Janky. I know I could have chosen Hakuge, but that's just another RMC and there's already enough of them, and Janky is just as crazy. Wildfire in Sweden and King Kong in Tunisia. Now, as much as King Kong does look pretty epic, I will have to say that'll probably be going at the bottom. I've heard a lot of good things about Janky, so I'm actually going to stick that at the top. And I think I'm going to stick Untamed under Wildfire. There you go. That's the ranking for Group F. Group G has a clear winner right at the top again already, that being the Ride to Happiness with Belgium. We've got an Egyptian Vekoma SLC, literally called roller coaster. Iran has a skateboard ride, and New Zealand has corkscrew. So first of all, out of pure spite, I'm going to put the Vekoma SLC down because I absolutely hate those things. New Zealand up, and Iran right at the bottom with their skateboard ride, because honestly, what even is that? I think Group G can stay like that as well. Group H is very interesting, with first up Spain with Batman Gotham City Escape, Cape Verde with nothing, Saudi Arabia with Falcons Flight, and Uruguay with this tiny little looping roller coaster that I don't think is even open yet. Now, I've personally been on Batman Gotham City Escape and I know how good that ride is, but I have also been told about Falcons Flight and how good that is, so I'm going to put Falcons Flight above it for now, but this is the group stage, so this doesn't really matter as long as they go through in the top two together. So that will be how that group sits for now. Group I is home to Norway, France, Senegal, and Iraq, with France being too tatis. I've put that in because I'd love that ride. Senegal is just a wacky worm. That was the only one I could find. Iraq is the Dream Coaster, which seems to be a Mara X car. And Norway with their Gerstlauer inverted coaster called Storm, which I wouldn't say looks as good as Tutatis, despite the fact I know I've been on Tutatis, so maybe this is unfair, but it does look so good. So that'll be going in second, followed by that Dream Coaster, because that looks unbearably uncomfortable. And the tiny little wacky worm. It's not the last wacky worm in these groups. We've then got Group J, starting with Argentina with another Vekoma SLC. Oh god. Higher Mountain in Algeria, which looks like a little Pimfari coaster. Austria, I've chosen Helios. And in Jordan, Roller Coaster, which looks like a Hot Wheels track. And so far, this might actually be one of the most difficult groups we've had, because as much as we know that Austria is going to go straight up there, I have no idea where these other ones would go, because they all look really bad.
5 minutes later.
I think that works. Group K begins with a World Cup favourite. Portugal with a brand new Mack launch coaster. DR Congo with an old wacky worm. Uzbekistan with roller coaster. And Colombia with crater. For this one, I do think that this updated order right now is justified. Although I think they should give the DR Congo wacky worm the name crater, because it just looks like it's been built on a crater. And our final group, Group L, is very important because it starts with England. And I've chosen Hyperia for that. I was going to choose Nemesis Reborn, and it's pained me that I've chosen Hyperia, but it is just a better coaster, isn't it? Along with Big Blue in Croatia. Oh, look at that. And the other two, oh, never mind. So that group can literally stay as we found it. So group stage is now complete, and we move into the knockout stages, which, remember, only the top two of each group has made it into, except from third place, which 8 of them from the groups has. Anyway, so we begin with the first knockout stage, and I've already looked at some of these and they are terrifying, because first up is Germany versus Turkey with Voltron, Nevera at Europa Park, and Hypercoaster at Land of Legends. And my bias is going to come in here a little bit, because I've not done Hypercoaster, but I have done Voltron many a time, and I absolutely love it. The point, it's still in my top 3 coasters. And as good as Hypercoaster looks, there are some better coasters on this list, including Voltron. So Voltron, you win that one. And next up is an even more difficult one, because I've been on these two. France versus Netherlands with Tutatis and Untamed. Oh, why'd you have to do this to me? Tutatis, that amazing Intamin multi-launch coaster with like the swing launch, which takes you up a spike and everything, over at Park Asterix, and then Untamed, that crazy low to the ground RMC. Oh, this is difficult. But for me, I know, again, it's probably not fair that I'm the one doing this. One of them does take the edge for the theming and the sort of experience on ride, and that for me is Two Tatis. So sorry Netherlands, goodbye. Complete opposite end of the spectrum where I haven't been on either of these rides. Mexico versus Qatar with Medusa, the RMC at Six Flags Mexico, and the Epic Coaster with a queue. So how on earth am I supposed to do this? Looking at Medusa in Six Flags Mexico, it has that really cool barrel roll drop and then loads of airtime moments as well. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Medusa. Sorry Epic Coaster, you are gone. This next one is an extremely easy one. I'm not gonna keep you waiting. Morocco versus Japan with Serpents and Ejanica. Sorry Morocco. Looks like a cool ride, but you're gone. Ejanica just looks way too crazy. Next in, we have two that could probably go either way. Croatia and Colombia. Croatia has Big Blue and Colombia has Crater. Big Blue doesn't look like it's put in a crater this time around. I think I'm going to have to give it to Colombia on this one. Next up, we have Saudi Arabia versus Jordan with, of course, Falcons Flight versus Rollercoaster. I mean, this is a pretty obvious one as well. Goodbye, Falcons Flight. No, of course, Falcons Flight has to win that. It's literally the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster, and a lot of people say it's their number one. As many say the same about this next coming ride, under the USA versus Switzerland, Steel Vengeance versus this new Mack Big Dipper coaster that hasn't opened yet. There's only one real winner here. Goodbye, Switzerland. Belgium versus Czech Republic with, of course, Ride to Happiness versus the new GCI that's coming. I'm afraid Belgium wins that one too. The next few were very easy to get through and I won't bore you with the same commentary. Starting with Brazil versus Sweden, and I chose Wildfire over the new Vekoma. Norway versus Ecuador with Storm versus Krakaton, and I obviously went for Storm. South Korea versus Haiti, obviously went for T-Express. England against Uzbekistan, I obviously chose Uzbekistan. No, of course I chose Hyperia for that one. Austria v Spain, I love the look of Helios, but of course Batman won that one. Australia beat New Zealand with DC Rivals. Canada beat Argentina with Leviathan. And in our final knockout round, Portugal versus Iraq. Flash Coaster v Dream Coaster. What do you prefer? Dreaming? Oh, lovely dream. Or Flash? Again, I think this is an obvious one. Dream Coaster looks unbearably rough, and Flash looks unbearably awesome. So we'll work our way back up that list in the round of 16. Still on the knockout stage, Portugal with Flash versus Canada with Leviathan. Again, I'm sorry Portugal, you had a good time. It's over. Australia with DC Rivals versus Spain with Batman Gotham City Escape. What do I do? I have been on one of them, that being Batman. I have not been on DC Rivals, but it looks insane. Oh, I might actually have to do a bit of research on this. I'm going to get killed in the comments anyway, but I'm afraid, sorry Australians, I've got to get rid of that. That wasn't what I said. That was what the polls and stuff said, not me. Next up, England v South Korea with obviously Hyperia and T-Express. Now this is interesting. So obviously I've been on Hyperia many times and I've never once touched T-Express. So in my mind, T-Express might just look like a wooden roller coaster and Hyperia is obviously way better. I'd actually think that T-Express is better. I'm gonna give it to South Korea. I'm sorry. Just said sorry to myself. No bias here, as we aren't going to have going into Norway versus Sweden with Storm versus Wildfire. Oh, no, why? I'm going to give it to Sweden with Wildfire purely because again, landscaping and it's an RMC, it's just insane. But Storm does look very good. Germany versus France. Oh, no. Voltron versus Two Tatis. I mean, I know what I think anyway. I much prefer Voltron, but Two Tatis is such a good contender. I'm so sad we're losing that so early. And as much as I know half of you have already killed me in this video, yeah, I'm going to get rid of Two Tatis. Mexico v Japan with, of course, Medusa versus Ejanica. That's an easy one. Sorry, Mexico. Colombia with Crater versus Saudi Arabia with Falcons Flight. Again, really easy because, well, Falcons Flight is literally, again, I'm not going to say all the world records it has. World's longest water cooling brake system. And, I don't want to do this next one. Steel Vengeance in the USA versus Ride to Happiness in Belgium. Two very highly regarded rides, which are rated both probably like top 5 in the world. And we've got them here in not even the quarterfinals. This is terrible. So for that reason, I'm going to say it goes to a draw. And it goes to penalties. And this is my penalty shootout. We're going to spin this 5 times. And see whichever one it lands on the most. Starting with a goal for Ride to Happiness. Okay, so there's 1-0 to Ride to Happiness. Obviously, first to 3 will win. Oh, another one for Steel Vengeance. Okay, 1-1. 2-1 to Ride to Happiness. Oh, this is so dumb. I don't know why I'm doing this. 3-1 to Ride to Happiness. Okay, right, it is 3-1. Let's go one more. Oh, okay, well, Ride to Happiness has won, I'm afraid. They won the penalty shootout. I don't know how to feel about that. Ride to Happiness won penalties. Let's just leave it at that. We are now in the quarter-finals. I hated that last decision, so let's hope I don't have to make any more. And we start with Spain versus Canada with Batman Gotham City Escape and Leviathan. I'm actually going to say this is a pretty easy one, and that I probably would prefer Batman Gotham City Escape. Purely because of the layout and the launches and everything, and it's got more of that intensity and stuff, so I'm going to say Batman for this one. Sweden versus South Korea Wildfire VT Express. Oh, it just gets worse every time. Again, I haven't done either of these coasters, but we're going to start ranking it when it does get to that, on which one I would rather ride. I'm actually going to give that to T-Express. I don't know how I feel about that. We then have another massive battle of two coasters, this time in the form of Saudi Arabia versus Belgium, Falcons Flight v Ride to Happiness. Oh, for God's sake. It's got some of the most insane launches, some of the most insane drops and everything. Clearly that should win, but because of the spinning on Ride to Happiness and the sort of aesthetic around the area and stuff, it's so close. But I think my fight for Ride to Happiness needs to end at some point, and I think Falcons Flight has probably dethroned that. Falcons Flight does win that quarterfinals match. And to make it even easier for me, we then have Germany versus Japan with Voltron versus Janky. I might just jump out my window, but I think it's time it goes to penalties again. Who's going to score first? We've got Voltron. Yes, Voltron scores one. There we go. Any more? Oh, Voltron again. Oh no. Is this going to be a clean sweep? No, Janky brings back one. 2. Oh my god, it's 2-2. Oh, Voltron takes it. Rest in peace. And that then leads us into the very difficult semi-finals, where first of all, our old friend Voltron from Germany goes up against Falcons Flight in Saudi Arabia. And the thing is, again, Voltron, one of my favourite coasters of all time. I would try and argue it, but half the people got off of Voltron somehow and thought it was a rough mess and it shouldn't have been built, and half of them loved it. Everyone seems to get off of Falcons Flight, if they can actually get on it when it's open, and says it's the most amazing thing and it's an experience like no other. So I think for that reason, it pains me inside to do this. Falcons Flight wins. And then we've got T-Express in South Korea versus Batman Gotham City in Spain. This is a really different matchup. And once again, having been on Batman and seen T-Express for what it is, it does look incredible. But I actually think a lot of people sleep on Batman. They actually think that it's nowhere near what Velocicoaster is or anything like that. But I don't think the layout is that far off of it, which is why I'm actually going to put Batman for this one. We will get rid of South Korea. What a strange semi-final that was. I think this has just been really one-sided, where one side's had loads of amazing coasters and the other side has had like some good ones, but not as many. And that then leaves us with the final, which I'm looking at it and it is quite funny. Spain versus Saudi Arabia with Batman Gotham City Escape versus Falcons Flight. Is Batman not just a smaller version of Falcons Flight? Well, what it does do is actually pack loads more elements in and more theming that are a lot more unique. It goes upside down, it's got some insane airtime on it, got an awesome pre-show station and queuing area. This is a difficult one because again, Falcons Flight is just absolutely insane. How tall it is, how fast it is, how long it is, how much cooling they have on their LSMs, and just the pure scale of it. It's a difficult matchup, this, which is why for the final time this video, we're taking it to penalties. And you know what, agree or disagree with the list and the way it's turned out, but I've had so much fun with this. And if you do want to see this in the future for maybe, I don't know, like an F1 style version or I don't know what else, leave your ideas in the comments below as we go to penalties with Batman and Falcon. And here we go, the first penalty. Who's it going to go to? Oh, just about Batman. First one done. Second one, we're running round. It goes to Batman again. There's no way this is about to happen. Third. Here we go. Oh, that's looking like Falcons Flight. Yep, Falcons Flight takes one back. Who's going to score next? Oh, just about Falcons Flight. It's 2-2. Spamming my mouse once again. Who has won the Coaster World Cup? It's time to find out. And I let go. Who's it going to be? Oh. It couldn't have come down even closer. It was that far off. That far. You can't even see me. From being Falcons Flight in Saudi Arabia, but Batman Gotham City Escape wins the World Cup of Coasters. See, this is what happens when all of the big dogs in the other groups start to diminish and fight each other themselves. Spain with Batman creeps up the middle and takes it via penalties. Congratulations, Batman, Gotham City escape. You've won it this time, but who will win it in 4 years' time? God knows. Subscribe if you did enjoy this video, because I definitely enjoyed it. And considering it almost won, go and find out why Falcons Flight and another world-class roller coaster might be in trouble. Oh no. Yeah, they're in trouble. One's getting removed. Go and watch that video.
Keep your head back. Hold your tight. You must stay.